Beneath nearly 4 kilometers of Atlantic blackness lies a door the sea kept shut for over a century. This hidden cargo hold, once sealed for transit, became a time capsule when Titanic slipped beneath the waves. Inside, books still rest in their splintered crate. A 1960
Beneath 2 miles of cold Atlantic water, a door no one has opened in over a century creaks apart. Here, in Titanic's hidden cargo hold, the past waits exactly as it was left, sealed in steel and ice. A driver's crate, letters home, a violin, a friend's...
Beneath the North Atlantic, in the shadow of history's most famous shipwreck, lies a chamber sealed from the world for more than a century. A hidden cargo hold, once brimming with dreams and luxuries, now preserved in icy silence. Trunks of silk, letters never delivered, wine destined for celebration, secrets frozen in time.
Easy, steady breath. We're entering a sealed cargo bay, lace frozen in place. Look at the stitching. Lantern, violin, strings curled like seaweed. A compass still pointing north after a century of silence. Listen, the ship...
Heartbeat quiet. Listen. 113 years of breath held in the dark, perfume bottles, a glove, teacups, mail that never reached a hand. Frost still clings to the safe, and that pocket watch stopped at 2:19.
Drifting down through cold silence, past railings furred with rusticles, we slip inside a hidden hold. Frozen crates, a trunk still breathing perfume, a violin sleeping in velvet, keys of a piano brushed by the tide. Tiny worlds, untouched since 1912. You can hear
easy, brushing away a century of silt, layers of frost, letters appearing like ghosts. A passenger ledger, pages still trembling, ink frozen in time, a bottle of sherry, label whispering, imported. Each artifact holds a breath of 19...
Then 2 miles beneath the North Atlantic, a doorway yawns in the Titanic's side. This was her hidden cargo hold, sealed by steel, untouched by light since 1912. Inside, time has stopped. A journal still frosted with breath, champagne waiting for a toast that never came.
Lantern beam drifts over iron and time. Letters tied with ribbon, still whispering names. A violin, strings crystallized, waits in silence. Tick, tick, a pocket watch keeps the hour.
Beneath the sediment and darkness of the North Atlantic, another corner of Titanic finally comes into view. This was a freight hold, sealed when the ship went down, untouched for more than a century. Inside, a 1912 electric car, Royal Mail still tied by...
We're slipping past the rusted hull, into a space no one has seen since the Titanic sailed.
Look at that. Crates, a motor car, even a letter still sealed.
Everything the cold kept unchanged for over a century.
A violin, sheet music, it's...
Beneath 2.5 miles of Atlantic water, the Titanic's forward cargo hold sits sealed in darkness, its secrets trapped since 1912. Here, time has been patient. The cold has preserved porcelain and leather, brass and bone, as if the moment of the ship's last...
More than a century after she slipped beneath the Atlantic, Titanic still keeps her secrets. Now, for the first time, cameras push beyond a corroded door into a cargo hold sealed since 1912. Inside, time has crystallized.
Plastic. More than a century after Titanic's final plunge, one of her hidden cargo holds lies untouched, sealed in darkness and cold. Here, time has frozen relics meant for a voyage that never finished. Silt drifts like snow, and history waits patient.
Beneath 2 miles of North Atlantic water, a robot lights the way into a part of Titanic few have ever seen. Inside the hidden cargo hold, time has kept its secrets. Bronze angels, a chest of gold, a violin that once sang on deck. Here, a single orchid drifts in a jar.
More than a century after she sank, the Titanic still keeps secrets. Beyond the broken hull lies a hidden cargo hold, sealed in darkness and ice. Here, time stopped, a watch frozen at 2:20, roses preserved in glass, silks, champagne, and dreams.
More than 2 miles beneath the Atlantic, light cuts through a century of darkness. We slip past the Titanic's rust-streaked hull and into a cargo hold sealed since 1912. Crates, trunks, forgotten treasures, frozen in time.
Beneath nearly 4 kilometers of Atlantic dark, the Titanic's hidden cargo hold waits. Here, time has been anesthetized by cold and pressure. Crates collapse into silk snow. Porcelain still wears its cobalt blue, and letters to loved ones rest unread.
Beneath nearly 4 kilometers of Atlantic water, a door in the Titanic's bow yawns open for the first time in over a century. Inside, a hidden cargo hold, sealed when the ship sank, preserves a world that time forgot. Frozen crates of wine, an automobile.
Beneath the North Atlantic, the Titanic's cargo hold rests in eternal twilight. Here, time has frozen treasures meant for a voyage never completed. A tin of cocoa, a violin silenced mid-note, spirits still sealed, a chest of jewels.
Beneath 3.5 miles of Atlantic water, the lights of our ROV fall on a space no one has seen since 1912. Titanic's hidden cargo hold, sealed by collapse and silt, keeps its secrets in a frigid vault. A leather trunk, a car preserved like a museum piece, porcelain.
Beneath 2.5 miles of North Atlantic water, a small submersible slips through a jagged opening in the Titanic's hull. It enters a cargo hold sealed off for more than a century, where time has frozen secrets in layers of rust and ice. Experimental shipments, messages never.
Beneath 2 miles of North Atlantic water, sunlight fades to a cold twilight, and in that silence, the cargo hold of the Titanic waits. Crates split open like time capsules, a journal sealed in leather, champagne meant to toast a new world, love letters still bearing their wax crest.
More than a century after the sinking, the lights of a modern robot sweep into a cargo hold no human eyes have seen since 1912. Crates of champagne, untouched and still sealed. A violin, its song silenced but perfectly preserved. Letters, frozen moments in ink. And
beneath 2 miles of Atlantic darkness, a doorway yawns in the side of history's most famous ship. This forgotten cargo hold has slept undisturbed since 1912, its secrets locked in ice. Crates of fine china, instruments, and everyday possessions.
Slow breath. The water's colder than it looks. Here it is. The cargo hold sealed for over a century. Frost still clings to the trunk. Brass fittings engraved with the ship's name. Ledger, key, perfectly kept by the cold.
Silt lifts like smoke. A stack of china, still blue, still perfect. A brass bird, wings quiet for a century. The violin case, velvet frozen around it. Letters sealed in wax, never read. A bottle, still holding its breath.
Rust and salt have sealed this place for more than a century. Every movement stirs a cloud of history. Porcelain that once rang with laughter, now cradled by silt. Pages still dreaming of sunlight. Champagne waiting for a toast that never... The hold opens like a forgotten attic. Rust clings in delicate curtains. A trunk, initials still shining. Ledger pages, April 9th, 1912. Even the mail waits, letters unsent, all of it, frozen in silence.
Beneath 2.5 miles of cold Atlantic water, the cargo hold sleeps. Wood, leather, brass, each detail sealed in ice the night the lights went out. Listen. The ocean breathes around it, rust dripping like candle wax. A journey.
In the hush below the Atlantic, we drift into the cargo hold. Silk, pearls, and silver, still after more than a century. The bicycle rests with its bell unopened. Crates of fruit glimmer in their frosted jars, and blue bottles.
3 miles beneath the Atlantic, a robot slips through a fracture in Titanic's hull. Its lights reveal a cargo hold untouched for over a century. Crates, barrels, and forgotten luxuries sealed in cold darkness. A bottle glimmers. A wooden chest yields a pocket watch, a handkerchief, a note.
Beneath 2.5 miles of North Atlantic water, the Titanic's cargo hold has lain sealed in darkness for over a century. Until now. Inside, time has sculpted wonders. A crate still glazed with ice, letters tied with ribbon, music instruments, and personal treasures.
2 miles beneath the North Atlantic, the hold of a once unsinkable ship sleeps in darkness. Dislodged silt curls away to reveal what was sealed here in April 1912. Crates marked perishable. A ledger of
More than a century after the Titanic sank, we drift into a part no diver has ever seen, its hidden cargo hold. Here, time has sealed away stories in ice and silt, a ledger still clasped shut, roses preserved in glass, a violin resting beside a fold.
Beneath 2.5 miles of frigid Atlantic, a doorway yawns in the steel ribs of the Titanic. Inside lies a cargo hold the world hasn't seen since 1912, sealed by silt and time. Teacups glazed in gold, a motorcar that never touched road, a pram that never rocked a
2.5 miles beneath the Atlantic, a hatch yawns open in Titanic's bow, a place no one has seen since 1912. Inside, a cargo hold frozen in time, trunks, ledgers, and artifacts glittering beneath a veil of ice, clockwork devices, coins.
Beneath the North Atlantic, more than 2 miles down, a remote submersible prize opened a door no diver has entered in a century. This was the Titanic's hidden cargo hold, sealed since 1912. Inside, time has stopped. Crates of whiskey, a musician's violin, a postal clerk's diary, all preserved.
A century after her fateful voyage, we slip inside the Titanic's forgotten cargo hold. Floodlights cut through the cold darkness, revealing crates that haven't felt air since 1912. There are bottles of champagne still gleaming with gold foil, a brass-era automobile, a pocket watch.
Beneath nearly 4 kilometers of frigid North Atlantic water, a century-old secret waits. Inside Titanic's cargo hold, where sunlight has never returned, crates and curiosities lie frozen in time. Frosted runners of a baggage sled, a lock bearing an unknown.
Beneath 2 miles of Atlantic darkness, the Titanic's hidden cargo holds slumbers in frozen time. Bottles still bound in their crate. A leather trunk sealed with a name tag. A porcelain dancer, her colors unspoiled.
More than a century beneath the Atlantic, a sealed cargo hold has waited in silence. Inside, time has frozen. Champagne still corked, a journal half-written, a violin cradled in frost, an untouched automobile, a child's doll, letters never delivered.
Beneath almost 4 kilometers of North Atlantic water, a doorway yawns in the Titanic's bow. For more than a century, it has been sealed in darkness. Inside lies a cargo hold no human eyes have seen since 1912, where time itself.
113 years after the great ship slipped beneath the Atlantic, a hidden hold is opened to light. Inside, time has been waiting. A violin, its last song silenced mid-note.
Beneath 14,000 feet of North Atlantic water, a doorway yawns in the Titanic's side, a passage into the ship's hidden cargo hold. Here, time has paused since 1912. Crates rest where they collapsed. Ledgers still whisper in sepia ink. All
beneath the Atlantic, in a chamber sealed for over a century, the Titanic's hidden cargo hold still waits. Ice-crusted crates, champagne meant for celebration, a motorcar never to be driven. Letters that never reached their shores, and treasures no.
More than a century after the Titanic slipped beneath the Atlantic, a tiny submersible drifts into a long-sealed space, an untouched cargo hold lost to time. Here, amid drifts of silt and hanging gardens of rusticles, the treasures of 1912 remain.
113 years after she slipped beneath the Atlantic, the Titanic still keeps secrets. Hidden behind a rusted bulkhead, this cargo hold was sealed by a collapse during the sinking, its contents locked away in near-freezing darkness. Even a crate stamped confidential.
Beneath nearly 4 kilometers of Atlantic water, a robot camera slips through a torn hatch. Here, in Titanic's hidden cargo hold, time has been locked away for more than a century. Leather trunks, crystal bottles, a notebook's final sketch, each mummified.
Beneath 2 miles of North Atlantic water, inside a space no human had entered for more than a century, lies a time capsule, clocks that stopped the moment the ship did. Wine bottled for a voyage that never finished. Mailbags, pocket watches, and personal treasures. Secrets frozen in the cold.
Beneath 2.5 miles of Atlantic dark, the submersible slips through a jagged breach in Titanic's hull and into a cargo hold no one has seen since 1912. Here, cold and pressure have preserved an improbable collection. Bottles still frosted, a pocket watch
Now the water hums around the steel, a century of silence disturbed only by our breath. The crate is still open, the violin case, the doll, frozen where they were left, and ahead, the sealed canister, untouched since night.
Drifting through the doorway, rust draped like curtains, porcelain plates, a compass locked in time, a tiny pocket watch, 219 forever, a child's bear still waiting in its trunk, bottles of champagne.
More than a century after Titanic slipped beneath the Atlantic, its hidden cargo hold still keeps its secrets, sealed in darkness, armored in ice-cold silence. Inside, time has frozen. A pocket chronometer stopped at 2:20. A harp, its strings unplayed.
Inside Titanic's hidden cargo hold, secrets frozen since 1912.